Hello, hello, hello. This is Gouda.Murder, a podcast about sharp kills and cheesy thrills. Listen in on a group of gals talking true crime and all things cheese.
Hey, cheese bags. It's me, your girl, Keely.
Hey, Kelly.
Will you let me do an introduction? Gosh, dang it. Anyway, it's me, your girl, Keely, the host for tonight, with my lovely cheese.
Did I railroad you?
You did. You fucked it up so bad. Anyway, it's me, Keely, and Kelly tonight.
Woo!
Just the two of us. Just the two of us.
Gouda couldn't make it out, just the two of us.
You and I. Anyway, we're hanging out in the Barbie house, and we're traveling back in time.
Ooh.
Boom, 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 boom. We're gonna go.
I
don't know.
Was that like some sort of Reading Rainbow, like dun, 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 like Renaissance?
Yes,
like horns.
That's what I was thinking of.
It was really good.
Okay, well, neither is your fucking accents, so.
I know, that's what makes them great.
Okay, so that's what makes mine great. Anyway, we're going to Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Specifically, New Orleans.
Oh, Nola. Okay. I've never been, so that shows you how much I know. But that is what they call it. That's what some folks say.
Oh, is it? Anyway, born March 19th, 1787, Delphine McCarty was born to a Delphine.
That's a
like a French name? Delphine.
Like Daphne, but French.
Sure, whatever you say.
Yep.
But she was born to a very prominent Creole family. She was well educated and received training in social graces expected of women of her social standing during that time. At the age of 14, she married her first husband. First.
Nice.
First. We're going to tally.
Okay.
Don Ramon de Lopez y Angulo, a very high-ranking Spanish officer. However, their marriage was short-lived, as Don Ramon passed away just a few years later during one of the wars he was fighting at the time. A couple years later, 1808, Delphine married her second husband, Jean Blanc, a prominent banker and a merchant.
Okay.
The couple had 4 children together.
How old was she? Does it say how old she was when she had these kittens? Well, okay. Married at 14. I'm assuming first marriage didn't last too long, so maybe like 19, very, very, very early 20s. Starting to have 4 kids.
Something like that.
Dang, that's insane. But that was normal. That was normal. That was totally normal. Yep. This is like, again, the 1800s, so that's normal.
I mean, like, you typically died before you hit 50, so like...
Right. Seriously. Well, some people were dying before they even fully gray.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, yikes.
Speaking of gray, I found my first couple gray hairs.
Where? Over here. Oh, okay. In your head. On your hairline.
Yeah, in my head?
Hey, hair grows everywhere.
You're not wrong, but I'm not going to sit there and search, okay?
I love mine. I don't have gray hairs, I have white hairs, and they're fabulous. Only a couple, though. And they're, like, right on, like, my top part.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I'm brushing my hair, I'm looking longingly into the mirror. I can see them glistening. I'm like, wow, look at this. Coming in hot.
Thought it was a blonde.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not.
It's not blonde. Oh, really? Yeah, you're red.
Sorry, anyway.
Hopeful.
My bad, guys. Off topic.
Yeah.
In 1808, Delphine married her second husband, Jean Blanc. Like I said, he was a banker and a merchant.
Okay.
They had 4 kids. And unfortunately, Jean Blanc died in 1816. So just 8 years later.
She's not having the luck with these gentlemen. They keep dying off.
So, Delphine, a widow for the second time. So it was rumored that she cursed her husbands to death early on in their relationships. So she found someone that was of higher standards than her.
Yeah.
and then would just basically, since there's no one really around, there's a cat fight. Meow.
Little cat fight happening in the next room. Don't worry. Just huck a whole roll of paper towels at him. That'll work.
Oh, look, it's done.
Anyway, so she would curse these men.
Rumored.
Okay.
Rumored.
What did it say? Did you find out like why? Like, did she like not want to get married, or like no, she was like looking out for people who would take care of her financially?
So from a couple of the things I found is she liked her independence.
Okay. She
did not like being bossed around.
Yeah.
But then other ones I found is just like she just had some bad luck. First spouse died at war. Not something that she planned to happen. You don't like.
Right, like I hope you die when you go.
Right.
Please don't.
Good luck.
Back. Yeah.
See you never.
Please don't come back.
Right. So yeah, that was basically her first and second. Okay. So we're tallied for 2 now.
Okay, 2 for 2.
So at this time, Delphine was known for hosting very lavish parties and engaging in local social scenes. So she had the money. She had the social graces. She had
status.
She had it all.
Dang.
But she wanted a little more.
Okay.
Just a little more.
What lady wouldn't?
Yeah,
Girls always want more. Ladies always want more.
Where do you draw your line? Where do you like, that's enough? Obviously not Delphine. She don't have a line. She's gonna keep going, crossing over.
That would be like saying, like, I don't think anybody would ever say, no, I have enough money. Or like, no, that's too much money.
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
Or like, I mean, when you're in it, you're in it. I would say so.
True.
Okay, and again, 1800, so really how great was it? But,
right.
Did you have indoor plumbing? No, you pooped in a pot, so.
Ouch.
But anyway, no. So she had this standing. She didn't want to give it up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So she's like, you know what? But I could go more. Boom. Delphine married her third husband, Dr. Louis Lalauire.
Damn, a doctor, too.
Mm-hmm. A prominent physician in New Orleans. Their marriage brought Delphine immense wealth and much higher social status than she already had.
Dang.
Now, she had a very high social status from her family, just being born. She was born rich. Mm-hmm. First husband, big Spanish war man.
Yeah.
Second one, banker, merchant, boom,
Yeah.
Got all that money.
Now doctor.
Doctor. Who's she going for next? You'll never know. But it was rumored that her relationship with Dr. Lalaurie was not very healthy.
Okay.
There were rumors that there was abuse going on in the household. No one ever came forward and said that it was true. There was no actual notes anywhere other than just word of mouth.
Right.
I heard that he hit her, she hit him. But this is all 1800s, so like...
Right. Like, I mean, even if I would... Not that I say it's okay. Hitting's not cool.
Mm-hmm.
However, like, also it's like 1800s, so like it was socially... It has been socially acceptable for a man to beat his wife and or put hands on her in one form of fashion. All the way up until like... Even like our era, like not you and I era, but like all the way up until like the 50s, 60s, it was like... Yeah, well, it's, that's it. That's.
She should have listened.
Yeah, whatever. Like,
shouldn't have burnt the toast. Fucking bitch.
Yeah, fucking put iron marks in my work shirt. Like, I mean, like, nothing is okay, but like
those crisp edges.
You really think about it, and
crisp back end.
Yeah, like I'm sure there wasn't that much documentation because again, it probably wasn't thought of as like as a shitty thing. Like, I mean, I'm sure people thought it was shitty. Like people of that time era would like, oh, I would never do that, but also it'd be like. If you tried to report it, the police would be like, "Well, yeah, it's his wife, so it's within his reason to do so, or something like that, or vice versa,
True.
They would, probably turn their heads when they find out, oh, my wife hit me. They're like, pussy, no,
right? Don't be a little bitch. Did you hit her back?
Yeah, did you hit her back? Like,
right.
Were you asking for it? Like, you mean all these
Go,
ridiculous things?
Go on, round for round.
Yikes. So there's like rumors of like violence, but
Yes.
nothing ever really
Yep.
confirmed. Okay.
On top of the rumors of the violence between husband and wife, so didn't mention it, but I mean, a little obvious at this time, your social status is also most of the time included that you guys had slaves. Okay. She had, which I should have mentioned this early on, I'm sorry, but she had slaves from her first and second marriage from the house that she was living in at the time. She brought those slaves over into her now Dr. Lalauire's home. So they had, there was an estimate, there wasn't any documentation of how many they actually had, but there was an estimate that she had about 30 slaves herself, and then he had about 15.
Wow.
Okay. So just kind of keeping this in mind, there were rumors that they weren't taking care of their slaves. And I mean, most of the time they weren't being taken care of in the first place, but, pretty basic needs is like bread and water,
like
some sort of shelter. Yeah, they're not like, I mean, that's awful to say. No one should have gone without food, but like,
right. I mean, it was also
that was at the time.
Like it's not okay. Reiterate, it is not okay. But trying to keep in mind back then, I don't even say it was okay back then, but like it was acceptable. Like that happened. It happened. It happened. It's not cool. Don't like it. Never will like it. But But
yeah, there were tons of rumors going on that I'm pretty sure they had 45 slaves and we're counting only 30 of them. Where are these slaves at? Where
are these people?
Where are these additional people? Yes.
Yeah.
So slaves started ending up missing, or they were caught burying slaves that had passed, but there was no autopsy on them. There were no doctor
record
diagnosed that they had died or what they died of.
Well, he was a doctor. Interesting.
Weird. So anyway, with this rumor, there was rumor that there was cruelty to the slaves, and the abuse was not coming from Dr. Lalauire. It was coming from Delphine. And people are saying that Delphine was letting her aggression out on the slaves because, one, they couldn't do anything about it. They were do what master says.
Right.
And two, she couldn't do what she was doing to the slaves to her husband.
Ooh.
So, anyway.
This reminds me of American Horror Story.
You wouldn't believe it, but that's what it's based off of.
Nickel and a dime.
Wow. I was just about to go off on that. I was going to say, does this story sound familiar?
Because I was like,
because it's similar to American Horror Story.
Oh, that's terrible. So, I did not. That part of that beginning of that season made me very uncomfortable, as it should have. Yep. That's why I did it. But did not like.
So I'll go into my tangent after this cheese break.
All right. Wow. So we're getting into some historical scaries. I don't know, they're not really scaries, but that's terrible. That's so fun. That is so funny that I'm like, as you're telling me this, this sounds just like this. And I'm like, I'm not going to say it. Like, I'm going to say it. Like, it sounds just like this. And you're like, oh, funny thing. It is. It's actually that the American Horror Story character was based off this real life person. Yes. Isn't that scary? Oh my goodness. Ugh.
And she played it so well.
She did. Oh, I love Kathy Bates. She's so good in everything. She's a good horror person. Yeah, for sure. Yes. Love it. Okay. Anyway, well, we're getting into some Louisiana history. We're also going to get into some Louisiana cheese history. I bet you didn't think that existed, but it does. Ooh. All right. So in my cheese search, I found out that Louisiana's most popular cheese is Creole cream cheese. Creole. Thank you. It is a form of farmer cheese that is traditionally mixed in the New Orleans area of Louisiana, made from skim milk, buttermilk, and retin, which is a protein in that's involved in cheese mixtures or the production of cheese. These flavors of the wow, what was it again? Creole. See, I knew that. Creole is its flavors are mild, slightly tart, and a sweet taste, frequently mixed with cream, sugar, and served with fruit or sometimes served as like a dessert. Very interesting. I love that. The difference between cream cheese and Creole cream cheese, I wanted to know. Like I was like, okay, what's the difference here? So regular cream cheese is firmer and it's more like a, solid. I mean, it does soften up. Obviously, such as the Philadelphia variety. You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Whereas Creole is softer, more dollopy, and more of the ricotta and like mascarpone family. So it's a very soft cream cheese. I mean, cream cheese is soft as it is, but it's
right. But like a smooth spread.
Yeah, like smooth. I would say not runny, but almost. You know what I mean? Like it would be runny, Creole, regular cream cheese.
Right.
Got it? Okay.
Ooh, or
like almost like sour cream, like consistency. That's what I think. Like when I think of dollopy, I think of like sour cream consistency. And so this is similar to that, or at least that's what I read. Okay. So Creole is a softer dollopy cheese. It's created with milk and buttermilk instead of milk and cream, which is what original cream cheese is made with, which makes it again a much softer. And then it's heated with the protein rennet. Excuse me. Once curdled, the mixture ferments up to 2 days before the curds are drained. The result is a soft, fresh cheese that is somewhat dry in texture, which is why cream or like half and half is added before packaging. So it's the cheese itself is then, I wouldn't say diluted, but like they add cream, they add like a half and half to make it much softer, which creates that more smoother dollopy texture. Historically, Creole cream cheese was eaten with breakfast, sometimes topped with sugar or fruit, or even used as a snack and sprinkled with salt and pepper for working class. So like there was just like a quick and so like I almost kind of like it was like a cream cheese yogurt. I'm like, that fucking slaps. That sounds amazing. Yeah. I love cream cheese, so that sounds really great. In 1920, the Santani family founded Gold Seal Creamery and developed the benchmark for Creole cream cheese, which was rich and made with quality ingredients. By the 1980s, there were more than 1,000 dairy farms in Louisiana. 1,000 just in Louisiana in the 1980s. But unfortunately, between the 1980s and by almost like the early 2000s, 1999, dairy farms like really dropped off. Like it just wasn't hitting. Like they built up, but then it really just became like a lost industry to where now there's only like 119 dairy farms in Louisiana. Current I would say within the last I wouldn't say it was like this year's research, but it was like within the last few years.
Yeah,
there's only like 119. More as things became more popular, as much like cuisine became more American and less New Orleans, local products such as the Creole cream cheese couldn't compete. And so like Creole cream cheese actually almost like died out. Like it almost became an extinct food.
Oh no.
Yeah, because like as people were, I don't say growing, but as people were progressing, as times are changing, cuisine, like in any other areas, became it changes. It became more modernized. It came to like more fast, quick, convenient boxes. Ready at the go, and people were really just kind of like it was just dying down, which is really sad. Dying down until along came Poppy Tooker. Poppy Tooker. So she was an executive producer and host on NPR's Louisiana Eats, which is a radio show. She grew up eating Creole cream cheese with her grandfather, and he used to make it for her. Like he used to make it like from scratch with her. And so she had like this nostalgic attachment to it. And she's like, she really wanted to bring it back. She loved it so much. So she founded or helped founded the New Orleans chapter of Slow Food USA. And this was like back in 1999. So this was like really again when this type of cuisine was like really starting to drop off. It wasn't as popular. There were fewer dairy farms. It just wasn't being produced as much. And so she founded the New Orleans chapter of Slow Food USA, which was the first of 10 chapters in the USA.
So she was like one of the first like food group. I wouldn't say food groups, but food groups.
Yeah.
Organizations, I want to say. Took her, which she nominated Creole cream cheese for Slow Food's Arc of Taste, which is an international catalog for endangered heritage foods. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like food, like you think of it, endangered animals.
That's
you
all.
know? Yeah, endangered animals.
There's
That's
endangered food. No, there's not.
Yeah, there is, because like all these cuisines, like all of these old cultural cuisines are dying off because again, people aren't as traditional as they used to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it is like traditions. I feel are dying off in any area where you're at.
Yeah.
But especially again, like in I think there's a lot of culture in Louisiana, a lot of culture in like a lot of southern states, and I feel, I mean, it's culture everywhere, of course, but I think the South and those areas are really rich with culture. Those people that live down there are very really serious about their traditions. I feel very passionate. As I think there's a lot more passion about culture in those areas, especially in the U.S. that I've come across. Like, I mean, I love the Midwest, but I'm like, I don't know, like I can't really think of like areas around here that are like, no, this is how we've always done it. Like, I don't know, it's interesting. And so Tooker, she saw the value of this indigenous food and began teaching people to make Creole cream cheese at home. She did classes, she did demonstrations, and eventually making it cool again. So yeah, she brought it back. She was one of the people that brought it back. Like she was like instrumental on bringing this style of cheese back into fruition, back into a popular Louisiana cuisine, or like, staple, which is really, really awesome. So I of course looked high and low for actual just Creole cream cheese. I don't know if it's something you can buy it, but again, we're in the Midwest. We're not necessarily in this area, so I tried to get a little creative, and I'm thinking like, okay, well, I don't have the means of actually making cheese. I mean, I technically could have, but like I didn't have the means in the time that I was thinking about it, like to really try to make cheese and try to make this Creole cheese homemade. So what I did was I ended up just getting I got some cream cheese, of course, but then I also got half and half, and I'm like, okay, well, obviously this is not the same. It's not the same, but I'm thinking like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to lighten up this cream cheese by adding in the half and half. So that's what I did. So I came over to Keely's house, and I'm like, we got to mix some dairy, and we're going to be mixing some stuff. And it made a lot of very interesting sounds, but I think what we have here is a good tribute. I mean, obviously it's not the same thing. So I basically just like lightened this cream cheese spread, and then I found, which again is not traditional by any means, but we're just plain tribute. Okay, thinking about this delicious spread, I found Cajun's Choice Creole seasoning.
There we go.
At the store,
okay.
And from what I read, usually the traditional Creole cream cheese is like a lighter, like from what it says, like mild, slightly tart, sweet. Usually goes well with cream, sugar, fruit. Something on that lighter end. I thought, since that we're already kind of diving into the zesty zest, we've already had a different type of cheddar. I'm thinking like, oh, this Creole seasoning, I think it'd be really good if I mixed it in with this cream cheese. And it is. I think it looks good. I think it's good. It's like a zesty cream cheese spread that we've created here tonight, and that we've been munching on, or I've been munching on. I don't think you've had any yet.
Nope.
Okay, no, she's been savoring it. Good for you. I have not. And so tonight,
some of us wait to be original with the cheese.
Yeah, well, I gotta at least know what I'm talking about before I talk about it. So I made it. So we kind of whipped this together, and I think it's really good. We have our, again, chicken biscuit crackers for a little extra zest, or just a plain wheat thin cracker, or thin wheat, whatever, Aldi brand cracker, to get the rest of the spices, and it's good. It has ingredients include, or not limited to, salt, peppers. I love that. Red, black, and white. I didn't know that there was a white pepper. Did you know that? Like I've seen, when you see pepper, it's black and white, but I'm also thinking, I'm like, what's that white stuff? Like it's pepper. I don't know what it's made out of. Maybe that'll be another like side dive. What is white pepper? Because I'm interested. And garlic and other spices. Does not contain MSG. So we dodged a bullet there.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we did.
But what else are we eating?
We need some spices. It's good. I like it. It's good. I would say a little, I put a lot in here.
I watched you.
I definitely put a line here, but it's yeah. Okay, so tell us, what does it smell like?
Okay. First whiff, right on your nose.
Right on my nose. I went to smell it, and I just went boop right on my face.
Inhaled.
Okay. Yep.
I'm getting like a peppery.
Yeah. I'm getting. I do smell like the garlic and onion powder.
Yep.
I do smell that. But it's also, there's something a little bit behind it. Something like a little, like almost like a hot sauce smell behind it.
Yes.
Right? Which I love Creole sauce. Like whenever there is a food truck here in the area that does some really authentic Cajun cuisine. This woman makes like catfish and then she sells it with our homemade Creole sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, dude. It's my favorite. Like whenever she has that on the menu, I'm like, fuck yes, give it that to me. But
it's good.
It's good? You like it? Yeah.
It has a polite kick to it.
A polite kick to it. I love that.
Like I'm not dying of thirst. I don't need to like, oh my god, water.
Right, no. It's zesty.
Like,
it's a good zest.
But I can feel that hot.
There's a little bit of heat.
Yeah, there's a little bit of heat.
I wouldn't say heat. Zest. Oh, that's what I mean. Like it's not
there's
hot.
Warmth.
It's not okay. Yeah. Warmth.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I can feel it in my throat.
Louisiana foods. We're eating. We're thinking about you, Louisiana, and I'm liking it. I would love to. Oh, what is the other thing that says on the shaker? Use Cajun choice Creole seasoning to add jazzy, authentic Louisiana taste to meats, poultry, seafood, potatoes, vegetables, microwave dinners. It actually says that.
Stop.
Soups, eggs, and popcorn. Great on the grill. It's great in my mouth. And it's delicious.
On your microwave.
Yeah, microwave. It's actually great on your microwave dinner. So, hey,
Instagram.
Find this out. Cajun's Choice Louisiana Foods Creole Seasoning. If you're one to dive into those microwave meals, no judgment there. I love that. Those are the best, easy peasy. But if it's not slapping the way you want it to, shake some of this shit on it. It's delicious. It'll definitely jazz it up. It even says jazz up a list of foods. So I'm not wrong when I'm saying this, kids. I like it. I think it's good. I also wanted to make sure, because we know, of course, we do pairings. So we have the crackers tonight, of course. Mm-hmm. But I did look up, what is Creole cream cheese in wine pairings. I did look it up. And so for this type of cheese, again, I know I added some zest to it, but the original OG Creole CC is what I wrote in my notes. Pairs well with a light red Pinot Noir. Mm-hmm. It also pairs well with Chardonnay and Sauvignon Blanc. So different types of wine, both of which Keely probably will not enjoy. However, tonight I decided, we've been doing a lot of whites. I feel like I've been getting some light wines here. Yeah. So I did get a light, quote unquote, light red. I got the Pinot Noir. We're going to open this up, crack it open. Yeah. Oh, it's twist top. It's class.
Love that.
Okay. Pour it in there. Nice. That is a light. It's not. When I think of light red, I think it should be like a rosé color. But, yeah, it is really, yeah. Yep. Yeah, Keely gives herself a splash. I get the whole half cup. What is this?
Do you want more?
No. Not yet.
Okay.
And so the wine that I chose for us this evening, of course, is Pinot Noir. It is a Murphy Good brand. Solid buy. I've had this brand before. It's delicious. Flavor notes include cherry, raspberry, and tea leaves. Tea leaves, yes. 100% California grapes. So, I would be interested in knowing how many wineries. I would love to try. I mean, obviously California, you kind of monopolize the wine game, just as Wisconsin monopolizes the cheese game. However, I did try to find some Louisiana-based wineries. I was unsuccessful, but I'm sure you guys exist. I would be very interested. And what I'm going to do, make sure so we don't have Rizzo. She's just wanting to play our game, our pod game. I'm gonna just get a plain cracker, and I'm gonna put this Creole dip on it. That way, we're just tasting mostly dip as we're pairing it with our wine.
Why not?
Why not? All right, cheers. All right, let's do it. All right, get the cheese. A little bit. As always, it's great to see Keely's reaction to these wines.
I can definitely. I have a tea taste.
Do you?
I
Really?
have a little bit of a black tea taste.
Okay.
That wasn't bad. But I think the cheese is excellent with the wine.
Yeah, it is a spicy cheese. It again, this is more of a zesty than the original sweet. So I think if it was just like the plain, like
Nope, that's bad.
if you had it with,
It's not the cheese's fault.
if you had it with like the original like some fruit, Keely, you're fine. With some fruit or like some sugar,
Heat.
I think it'd be interesting. I like it. I think the bite of the wine definitely jazzes up the bite of the cream cheese that we've made. And I mean, again, as always, I don't hate it. Hate is a strong word for a wine and cheese for me, but judging by Keely's face, she's not.
Have another cheese cracker.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So we have that, and
Good choice. Good choice.
Are you just drooling? not out of enjoyment, but just like out of pure like survival mode.
That's actually chewing your tongue.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it is what it is. I'm gonna keep drinking this wine, and I'm gonna keep eating this cheese, and but I'm really excited to hear more about this crazy lady who is doing stuff to not. What is it now? What am I saying? She's doing stuff to people that she should be responsible for, and she's not doing it really well. And I'm kind of interested to see how this ends.
You shall see. Ready?
Yep.
All right. So before the cheese break, I was talking about
this crazy ass bitch
Delphine and her possible rumored obsession with abuse.
Yeah.
Was there abuse?
I don't know.
Let me tell you.
They made a TV show about it,
right.
So
you're not wrong. So the rumored abuse did not actually come to light until her house caught fire.
Oh.
And she was running around the front of her home and was screaming to people outside like, please help me, my belongings are in there, please help me, my jewelry. Like, she's freaking out about her stuff. And there were a couple people that were like, hey, there's I know you have slaves, like, where are they? And she's like, oh, they're fine, they're all outside, they made it out. And so
I don't see them.
Yeah, firefighters came, got her belongings out of the house, and then started going through. And their house is huge.
Yeah.
Okay. It's ginormous, but I don't want to say house. I'm sorry. It was a mansion.
It was a mansion. Estate, as one would have said.
There we go. So firefighters went back into the home and discovered a hidden chamber where they found slaves. That was completely shocking because people have never seen something so insane before. They were slaves that were chained up, that were clearly malnourished, that were clearly abused, that had tons of tortured, not just like a whipping, like,
right, but like
clearly you've been down here as like experiment type of shit.
Ooh.
And
also, let's reiterate, the whatever you want to call it, beating and or torturing the slaves, even whipping, or it's not cool, but still, but like this was an unheard of level.
Yes. And so they got further into the basement, and most of these slaves are dead.
Yeah,
obviously, from either the fire or just they've been down there for a while.
Ugh.
But they found a room in the basement, beyond where they found the original slaves. That must have been her torture chamber. I mean, they found glasses, beakers of blood, capped. They found knives. They found blades. They found chains. They found anything that you could think of in that medieval torture.
Even some things you probably couldn't have thought of.
Yes, it was in there. And it was They had an investigator at the time. Investigators are not like investigators now.
Right.
And they,
like Sherlock Holmes.
Yep, they interviewed Delphine. They interviewed everyone in the house. They did all this, and they're like, "There's no way Delphine could not have abused this badly. There's no way this is her."
Right. Did they think of it because she was a woman, or just like, oh no, it's not
No,
her?
because Delphine put on a front.
Okay.
She was the socialite. She hosted the parties. She was so kind to everyone. But maybe she hit her husband. We don't know.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, the investigator was like, "There's no way Delphine did this. Not a chance." And so they kind of dropped it, and another investigator had come into the home and found where the fire had started, and the fire started from a slave, one of the kitchen slaves, an older, I think it was a woman, I'm sorry, I just know that it was one of the slaves in the house that was the cook, changed themselves to the oven, and there was clearly abuse to them at the time, that they chained themselves to the oven and let it catch fire. And basically was like, so
you're saying this person chained themselves to the, and it's almost like kind of like a suicide thing.
Yep. Either I'm gonna get caught and I'm gonna confess everything, or I'm going up in flames.
Oh God.
So either way, they were trying to make.
Yeah, I'm clarifying because I didn't know with Delphine to chain this person to the oven. You're not. You know what I mean? That's.
There's a chance that they could have been chained to the kitchen.
Yeah.
There's a chance. I don't have anything that talks about
that specifically.
I just know that the slave was found chained in the kitchen to the oven. So, maybe you're right. They were just chained because that's their kitchen duty. Right. Don't leave the fucking kitchen.
So anyway, but so they were so that's where the fire started.
Yes. So this fire ruined the home. Okay. The public found out about the slaves in the basement, and they lost their mind. Everyone in the area, I knew Delphine was insane. A mob happened, and this mob came in. The house was already, I don't want to say completely destroyed. The house was partially destroyed.
Investigated.
Yes.
There's something still
So
up.
It was one half of the mansion that was ruined from the fire. The mob completely destroyed it. Oh. So the house now that is standing currently, it's standing in the same spot that Delphine's mansion was in. It's built almost identical to Delphine's mansion. But it is just a replica. It is basically just a repeat of the home, and any of the items that did survive they're there at the museum. Ugh. They've turned Delphine's home it's a huge tourist spot now.
Ugh.
Huge.
Gross.
So, why did Delphine, why did she abuse these slaves?
Yeah, why? What happened?
Weird.
Someone just circle back on her or something like that? Yeah.
So,
I know what happened in American Horror Story.
So, if you are an American Horror Story fan, you'll know that in the episode, she was obsessed with wanting to stay young.
Yes.
Wanting to be youthful for life. Yes. Didn't find the magic water or whatever. But those beakers of blood I told you about, she was using that to...
She's like,
I got a question. What's your nighttime routine? Because would you...
Yeah. So,
would you blood your face?
Yeah.
To look youthful? Because that's what she was doing.
Yeah, she was rubbing these people's blood
on her face. Yep. Yes.
Disgusting.
And I'm just trying to think about...
Imagine the smell.
First of all, the smell. Second of all, the curdling of blood.
Yeah, the coagulation.
Coagulation. Thanks, smartass. You sounded
cheese. Cheese curdles, blood coagulates.
You learned that in chemistry.
Yeah.
Which I passed.
Yeah. You did pass.
No, so yeah, she was using and abusing these slaves in order for her to think that she could stay young and youthful.
Yeah, and like in her mind, she felt like she thought
that was going to continue. So American Horror Story kind of did play that character or Delphine a little dirty because Delphine was beautiful.
Oh, was she?
In every account, she was gorgeous. She looked like she hated the world. She looked angry. Yeah. But I mean, that you don't smile in pictures back then anyway.
Right, no, but I mean, like, for a picture to be taken.
I was like, she was beautiful on all accounts. So just kind of.
She wanted that to last.
Yes. Right. Yep. And I don't know if that was just high expectations of being in the social light for so long.
I bet she got a lot of compliments and she liked that.
Yeah.
I'm sure she loved the attention because, I mean, who doesn't like a compliment? But, like, you know, some people, like, especially narcissists, which...
Get hyped all up.
I'm sure Delphine was.
Weird.
really thrive on that. Not even in a very compulsive and a very unhealthy way, of course. Makes them a narcissist. But, you know what I mean? So I can see it. It wasn't enough. Nothing was enough.
Nope. So, the fire.
Yeah.
The mob.
Yeah.
Ruined the house.
Yeah.
Delphine and her husband. They, rumored, either went down to Mobile, Alabama, where Dr. Lalaurie had other properties, or they went to Paris, and they stayed there.
Oh, so she escaped the mob.
She escaped barely.
And was never heard of
heard of again. Mm-hmm. Did she take slaves with her? Is she... I mean, there's no way she's still fucking alive now. Well, like...
Honestly.
She's a vampire, maybe.
Yeah.
But, yeah, she got away. Got away with her bullshit.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Tons of...
That's why I was saying, like, oh, you know, they caught up to her. They, you know, in the show... Nope. In the show, of course, she's... I mean, you know what? It's been out forever. Spoiler alert! If it's a spoiler alert for you, then you're obviously never going to watch the show. But like,
hey, I was watching that right now.
She was cursed and then buried alive.
Mm-hmm. Nope. So that's wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, she did not get caught. Her and her husband fled and either went to Alabama or went to Paris. I would assume they went to Paris because I think if I was her husband, I'd be freaking out. Because,
oh my god, my wife's a crazy sociopath. Right.
But what if he knew the whole time?
Yeah.
What if, I mean, it was their mansion.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It was theirs. Did he make sure that torture chamber was built in the basement?
Like that was her output?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Like, hey, I'm tired of you hitting me. Go abuse these slaves.
Yeah.
Right?
Ugh. That's nasty.
Like, where is that line? Because I read tons. Didn't find anything in relation to how this happened or not how it happened, but how far it went.
How far it went or how much the husband knew, like, I mean, that kind of stuff. Like, yeah. My Chief search is a lot more happier than what you have to look up, and I'm grateful for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
dang.
But, I mean, if you guys are in New Orleans, go visit the very spooky Lalaurie Mansion.
Lalaurie Mansion, yeah.
It's still up, still pending?
Tell us about it. Email us. Let us know what you think, if you've been there, if you haven't, or if you know of any similar historical... I hate even saying that like a historical thing, but obviously that fucking happened. Like those events happened.
Yep.
Whether you can confirm the reason or why for it, so disgusting.
Right.
But let us know how you think of them. Well, let us know if you have any ideas of any other areas or any other... I don't even want to say attractions, but like historical, like scary things like that. Email us at Gouda.Murder.
Nope.
Gouda.Murder@gmail.com. Or you can find us on Facebook. Thank you, Austin. Thank you so much. The cat's got to eat something. Okay. Gouda.Murder Podcast Official at Facebook.com. And
you can follow our Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Instagram, which is Gouda.Murder. On Instagram. And you can also find us on Tickety Talk with a few of our posts. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
it's barely hanging on.
It is. But
anyway, stay fresh, cheese bags.